Let's begin with the potential trade war with Mexico. Mitch?
Well, Mark, this has been the hot story nationally for about a week because late last week, President Trump basically kind of came out of nowhere and said because of the problems with immigration at our southern border, he was going to institute 5% tariffs on Mexican goods starting next week, ramping them up by another 5% each month all the way to October. So potentially tariffs of up to 25% on Mexican goods. That threw everyone into a tizzy. The reason this came about is because the numbers of immigrants flowing over the borders illegally has really been high. For May, the number was 144,000, and that was the third straight month of more than 100,000. It was up 32% from April. The officials in the Trump administration are talking about the extraordinary circumstances, but of course, with President Trump now turning to tariffs, that's running into problems within some among his own party saying, wait a minute, this is a problem.
Particularly in the Senate.
Yeah, in the Senate, they've been talking about putting forward legislation that would block the president from doing this. He's responding by saying, look, you should be standing behind me because I'm using this as a way to stop immigration. You shouldn't be saying tariffs are bad. He thinks tariffs are good. So there are negotiations ongoing to try to block
There have been
them.
some concessions from Mexico, though,
They have.
right?
Mexico has said that it would put 6,000 troops at its own southern border because the people we're talking about are largely not Mexicans. They are Central Americans who have gone through Mexico to get to the U.S. And so there's been the talk about putting the troops, also having some other provisions in place that would allow for asylum rules to be relaxed a little bit in Mexico. If those things happen, that could help put off this trade war. But for now, it's still on.
The tariffs start Monday if there's no agreement, correct?
Starting at 5% and would ramp up an additional 5% every month if nothing happens.